The, basically, why we are discussing structural steel is that in the civil engineering domain, structural steel is only being used. In within structural steel also there are two categories. One which is purely used for girders and columns, and short columns we call stanchions. Then other is structural steel is which we use for reinforcement purposes in RCC. So constituents of these two type of structural steel is again different because the purpose is altogether different. आरसीसी फ्रेम में क्या होता है, कंक्रीट के अंदर आपका रीइंफोर्समेंट एम्बेडेड होता है, तो उसका जो बिहेवियर है वो अलग होता है, उसकी रिक्वायरमेंट अलग होती है. जो आपका गर्डर्स होते हैं जैसे ब्रिजेस में होते हैं, अगर आपका स्टील प्योरली स्ट्रक्चरल स्टील ब्रिज है तो उसमें गर्डर की स्ट्रक्चरल स्टील की रिक्वायरमेंट बिल्कुल डिफरेंट होती हैं. सो दैट इज व्हाई दीज आर द टू ब्रॉड क्लासिफिकेशन. As it has been mentioned here, carbon, this we have already discussed. The ranges are given that what is the minimum ultimate stress and what is the maximum ultimate stress. That you can say it is a permissible limit, minimum and maximum of the permissible stress. And based upon this ultimate stress limit, the name has been given to it. The name of the carbon steel has been given IS 2062. This is as per Indian standard 2062. So it is varying from, you can say, 230 to 380 in the minimum range and 300 to 450 MPa into the maximum range. Although we are going to see it in the tabular form also. High strength carbon steel. जब हम कार्बन कंटेंट इंक्रीज करते हैं स्टील में तो स्ट्रेंथ इंक्रीजेस बट डक्टिलिटी रिड्यूसेस. ब्रिटल फेलियर के चांसेस इंक्रीज होते जाते हैं after beyond a certain limit, 1 to 1.1%. As discussed already, such steel has a high carbon content and shows reduced ductility, toughness and weldability. This steel is specified for structures such as transmission line, microwave towers, where the relatively light members. Towers में क्या होता है, light number of members such as in steel trusses, because it is nothing but a steel truss, are connected at a particular joint. So they have got a strength of a minimum is 350 to 400 MPa and maximum is 480 MPa to 500 MPa. Then next is medium to high strength microalloyed steel. It is having low carbon content but achieves high strength due to the addition of other alloys such as niobium, vanadium, titanium or boron. So when these alloys are added with the steel, they become the high in strength without reduction into the ductility. Total content of other alloys is 0.25% and it is having ultimate tensile strength from 440 to 590. It is just 40 MPa above the preceding one. This one is 480 to 550, 480 to 550, and here we are having 440 to 590. So the lower range has gone a little bit down. So it is covering a broad spectrum of the stretch range. There is another one category which is high strength quenched and tempered steel having a range 550 to 700 MPa. This is the minimum and the maximum is 700 to 950 MPa. So always you are required to remember the maximum one critically. अगर मिनिमम अल्टीमेट स्ट्रेस रेंज आपको नहीं पता है, नो प्रॉब्लम, बट द मैक्सिमम अल्टीमेट स्ट्रेस रेंज आपको पता होना चाहिए फॉर द क्लासिफिकेशन ऑफ द स्टील because it is required into the design. They have got ultimate tensile strength of 480 MPa. Again, then another category is stainless steel, which is not a structural steel. By the addition of the chromium and nickel, it is used for utensils and anywhere else where the use is specific to the its appearance. Then we have got fire resistant steels. It is very important because wherever we are having earthquake prone regions, there are chances of fire to be induced as a side effect due to earthquake. Most of the time it happens. Mechanical properties of steel depends upon the following factors. Mechanical properties of the steel are chemical composition. That is when the steel is manufactured into the industry, while it is into the rolling stage. What are the different processes which are responsible for the different mechanical properties of steel. First one is chemical composition. Second is rolling methods. Third is rolling thickness. That is what is going to be the thickness of the cross-sectional area of the structural steel. As we have seen the other day on Tuesday, I've shown you several figures: eye girder, channel section, angle section, bracket section, how we can form a column out of different types of shapes. If you want to find out, make a plate girder, how you can add the flanges to the web. Web is also going to be simply a plate of a thickness, and then you can add flanges on the both sides. In pure structural steel, heat treatment, what was the temperature of the heat treatment during the rolling section of the manufacturing of the structural steel? Then what was the stress history, if it is a recycled, or the important mechanical properties of steel are ultimate strength, also called tensile strength. Whatever I have highlighted in bracket, sorry, in rectangle, please go through it very seriously. See what I have written here. So ultimate strength, and in bracket tensile strength, because the only purpose of the structural steel is its capacity in tensile behavior. So the ultimate tensile strength is the most important property required for the design of the structural steel. The second one is yield stress, also called proof stress, ductility, weldability, toughness, corrosion resistance, and machinability. So the first two we can get easily from the stress strain curve. That is the ultimate tensile strength and the yield stress. And the third one, which is ductility, it can only be taken in a lab if you have got cyclic loading testing apparatus. अगर आपके पास साइक्लिंग लोड है, टू एंड फ्रो मोशन, लोडिंग अनलोडिंग ब्रांच है, पहले आपने लोड लगाया, फिर आपने लोड को रिलीज कर दिया, फिर आपने लोड लगाया, फिर आपने लोड को रिलीज कर दिया, फिर आपने लोड लगाया, फिर आपने लोड को रिलीज कर दिया. So what will happen, that it will be a cyclic kind of behavior will be there, or it is a to and fro motion of a column or something. आपने दोनों डायरेक्शन में अगर आप लोड को लगा रहे हो, in this direction and back, to and fro, to and fro, so you will again get a circular curve like this: loading, unloading, loading, unloading branch. That will give you the area under the curve. तो हम क्या करते हैं उसमें, जो हमारे पास सारी साइकिल्स का एक आइडियलाइज्ड कर्व आता है, उस कर्व के अंदर जो एरिया है, that area gives the ductility of that particular structural element or that typical type of structural steel. Last four properties are often associated with the fabrication. तो fabrication में जो differences रहे constituents में, chemical properties में, they dominate these last four: weldability, toughness, corrosion resistance, and machinability. Ultimate strength or tensile strength, you can see they are written here as or. तो आपको कंफ्यूज नहीं होना है, अल्टीमेट स्ट्रेंथ और टेंसाइल स्ट्रेंथ में कंफ्यूज नहीं होना है. They are one and the same thing. Ultimate strength, which is the minimum guaranteed ultimate tensile strength at which the steel would fail, is obtained from a tensile test on a standard specimen. जो हमने अब से पहले 2 या 3 लेक्चर्स में भी डिस्कस किया है कि हम एक स्पेसिमेन होता है हमारा, उसको हम यूटीएम में प्लेस करते हैं अंडर द फिक्स्ड जॉज, एंड वी हैव गॉट we continue to move the jaws in the outward direction and we stretch the specimen into the opposite direction. Basically, it is being done if we talk of civil engineering domain. तो जो हमारे reinforcement bars आते हैं इंडस्ट्री में, FE415 अवेलेबल है, FE500 अवेलेबल है, FE500D अवेलेबल है और FE600 अवेलेबल है. सो अलग अलग यूनिवर्सिटीज, अलग अलग कंसल्टेंसीज में अलग अलग कंपनीज, बिकॉज नॉट ओनली वन कंपनी इज देयर दैट मैन्युफैक्चर्स वन ग्रेड ऑफ स्टील. आदित्य बिरला ग्रुप भी मैन्युफैक्चर करता है, अल्ट्राटेक मैन्युफैक्चर करता है. और आपको पता है जब आप टीवी में एडवर्टाइजमेंट देखते हो, बहुत सारी कंपनीज रीइंफोर्समेंट मैन्युफैक्चर करती हैं. So all those companies approached to a particular consultancy, to a university or to IIT to get their specimen checked for the ultimate tensile strength. अब उन्होंने तो मार्केट में बेचना है बोल के FE500, but when you go to the market, will you accept anything the company says it is FE500? क्या आप उसको एक्सेप्ट कर लोगे जो भी उसके उस पे लिखा है? Let's say I am manufacturing FE250, but I am selling it with a brand name along with FE550. Is it acceptable to the consumer? No, it is not acceptable. So सभी कंपनीज को अपने स्पेसिमेंस को कंसल्टेंसीज में चेक करवाना पड़ता है. They have to make a confirmation that whether it is giving the ultimate tensile strength of FE500 or not. So that type of testing apparatus is available in many consultancies. In if we talk of Chandigarh Mohali region, it is available in the industrial area, phase 1 in Mohali and in Chandigarh also. So they give the letter of confirmation. A test report is given to the company. A test report of 10 to 15 pages is given to the company, handed over, that okay, your enforcement grade or your girder grade is giving the ultimate tensile strength of FE600. And what is the procedure? Now we have got here, this is the specimen. You can say LC is the total length and LG is the gauge length. This LG is the gauge length from here to here, and this is a simple element here in between, which can be taken for during the test process for the area confirmation. हमने उस दिन क्या डिस्कस किया था? जब हम इस स्पेसिमेन को दोनों तरफ से स्ट्रेच करेंगे, जब हम इस स्पेसिमेन को दोनों तरफ से स्ट्रेच करेंगे तो क्या होगा? कैन एनी स्टूडेंट टेल मी? So the area is going to continuously reduce. It will become something like this from this side and something from this side. I'm unable to draw it exactly. So area is going to reduce in between at one particular place. And for that case, what is the value of the gauge length? ये gauge length हम in case of rectangular cross section we take it as 5.65 under root A0. A0 जो है वो initial जो testing start होने से पहले उसका area था, that is A0. So 5.65 under root A0 is going to give you the total gauge length in case of rectangular section. And if it is a circular section, you can simply multiply it with 5. 5 into A0. So now when you start the testing, actually you students are not responding to me. So it is becoming difficult for me to make you understand a little bit more things. Now when the testing is going to proceed, जब हमारा सेंट्रल रीजन में एरिया रिड्यूस होना स्टार्ट होगा, यहाँ पर हमारा एरिया रिड्यूस होना स्टार्ट हो जाएगा. So we will be having two areas. One is the original area, that is A0, which is written over here. And the second area, the reduced area, let me try to draw once again. Now I have drawn it at the central portion. I am deleting this particular part. Now I have got this particular area as the second area. If I give it the name as A1, तो मेरे पास दो अलग अलग एरिया हो गए. एक टेस्टिंग स्टार्ट होने से पहले का है और एक टेस्टिंग स्टार्ट होने के बाद, आफ्टर द स्पेसिमेन हैज reached the yield point. As we have discussed A, B, C, D and E stages. तो D में क्या था? अल्टीमेट था. E में क्या था? फ्रैक्चर था. A was in the proportional limit and B was close to the yield limit. C was in between the yield and ultimate limit. So when it reaches close to the ultimate limit, the necking starts, as it has been written here also. When we go to the, it is written here, necking. After reaching the ultimate tensile stress, a localized reduction in area. There is a localized reduction in area which is due to the necking of the specimen. तो वहां पे एक दूसरा एरिया होगा हमारे पास which is going to be reduced before the specimen fractures into two pieces. उसके बाद क्या होगा? ये two pieces में fracture हो जाएगा and it is called as ductile fracture. Now let me go back. So we will be having two types of stress strain curve. One is going to be the ultimate, that is engineering stress strain curve. जो engineering stress strain curve होगा, there are going to be the two types of stress strain curves depending upon the total behavior of the specimen starting from scratch till the fracture of the specimen into two parts. Those two types of stress strain curves are engineering stress strain curve and true stress strain curve. कौन से दो तरह के स्ट्रेस स्ट्रेन कर्व होंगे? आंसर प्लीज. Okay, engineering stress strain curve is going to be the curve in which we will be taking original area of cross section. जहां पर हम डिनोमिनेटर में आपका जो अल्टीमेट टेंसाइल लोड है वो सेम रहेगा, बस ओरिजिनल एरिया ऑफ क्रॉस सेक्शन डिनोमिनेटर में चेंज होगा. जो इंजीनियरिंग स्ट्रेस स्ट्रेन कर्व है उसमें A0 आएगा नीचे डिनोमिनेटर में, दिस A0. And for true stress strain curve, the actual area is going to come. Actual area of cross section, which is this one, reduced area of cross section, which is very, it appears when it is very close to the ultimate strength. So this will give us the true stress strain curve. And as you see that denominator is a reduced area. Denominator is a reduced area, तो क्या होगा हमारा जो एक्चुअल वैल्यू है वो इज इक्वल टू के जो लेफ्ट हैंड साइड में वैल्यू है वो इंक्रीज होगी या डिक्रीज होगी? So as this value is going to be reduced, so true stress is going to increase as compared to the ultimate tensile strength. So that is why you will always find that you will be having true stress strain curve on the higher side always as compared to the engineering stress strain curve. So you are having this uh, proportional limit zone, upper yield stress. Then you have got strain hardening zone. And then we have got ultimate limit. And here we are not having any ultimate limit in this particular. You can see the curve is not coming down. In true stress strain curve, it is not coming down because it will continue the area, the reduction in area is going to continue for a very long time. And when it is, the area is going to reduce and reduce. So what is going to happen? The actual value of the true stress is going to increase and increase. So it is never going to come down. And what will happen eventually? The specimen is going to break into two pieces. So that will be called as fracture point. It will be a sudden collapse and it will be a straight line which is going to be coming down. So that is why it is going to rise and rise. Extremely difficult to determine the area of cross section at various stages of loading. So what happens actually, we never use true stress strain curve because at different stages of loading the specimen, it is very difficult to find out the actual area, actual cross sectional area actually onto the site. हम लैब में तो उसको फाइंड आउट कर सकते हैं स्ट्रेन गेज लगा के या एलवीडीटी लगा के, पर एक्चुअली साइट पर इसको एरिया को फाइंड करना डिफिकल्ट है, which is reducing with the loading, and it never happens. Only the earthquake is a phenomena which can very critically and exponentially reduce the area of the cross section of any structural steel specimen. Other than that, wind, static loading, or any other loading cannot change the A0 to any other area drastically. So we take engineering stress strain curve into the design always. So whatever original area was there before the starting of the testing work, that is going to be taken for the design of the structural steel members, which is called as characteristic ultimate tensile strength. जो हम डिजाइन में लेते हैं, which is based upon the engineering stress strain curve, that ultimate stress is called characteristic ultimate tensile stress, FU. So if you go through the Indian Standard 800 or the special publication SP6 of steel design, there also all the values of the cross section of structural steel are given based upon the FU, that is ultimate tensile strength. These again you can see it is whatever is written here is purely based upon the Indian conditions. Steel in India is designated as FE 310. This is an older version of the book. Now we have got advanced versions beyond FE 590 also. So it is FE 310, FE 410, WA, FE 540B, FE 590. The letters after the numbers indicate the grade of steel, or if they have got any special quality. So that letter indicates that particular property of that steel. Copper bearing quality is designated with the suffix Cu. If you have got certain specific amount of carbon induced into that particular steel, so it will be having a specific name as a suffix Cu added to it. Table 1.9. This particular document, this book has been shared with you everywhere onto your WhatsApp group, onto your Google Classroom. So please go through this document from where we have started. Other mechanical properties of steel produced in India. So you can see I have highlighted. I'm going to again highlight it with a different color so that becomes easily recognizable. The other mechanical properties of the steel produced in India as per Indian standard 2062 is given here into this table number 1.9. Designation is given in the first column. That means the number is going to tell what is going to be the ultimate characteristic, ultimate tensile stress, which is responsible for the design of the member. Ultimate tensile strength and the number in the designation is same. Then yield strength we have got, which is if I draw a line from here, so you can see this is the point. After yielding, it is going to go like this, and then it is going to come down. This is the length which has been specified for finding out the gauge length for a rectangular section. 5.65 multiplied by under root of A0. तो जो भी आप क्रॉस सेक्शनल एरिया ले रहे हो टेस्टिंग स्टार्ट होने से पहले, अंडर रूट ऑफ दैट इनटू 5.65 इज गोइंग टू गिव यू द गेज लेंथ, जिसमें हमें जो हमें एक्चुअली बिहेवियर बताएगा उस स्पेसिमेन का. These are the other important properties. Always remember, ये प्रॉपर्टीज बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. मॉडुलस ऑफ इलास्टिसिटी आप क्या लोगे जब भी आप स्ट्रक्चर स्टील में डिजाइन करोगे? व्हाट इज गोइंग टू बी द मॉडुलस ऑफ इलास्टिसिटी? 2 into 10 to the power 5 MPa. That is 2 lakh MPa. 2 lakh MPa is the modulus of elasticity of the pure structural steel. Then we have got shear modulus, then Poisson ratio into the elastic and inelastic range, varying from 0.3 to 0.5. So whenever जब भी आप डिजाइन में यूज करोगे, when you will come into third year, जब आप थर्ड ईयर में स्टील डिजाइन पढ़ोगे, जब आप थर्ड ईयर में आ जाओगे स्टील डिजाइन पढ़ोगे, these values are going to be important to you. 2 lakh MPa as modulus of elasticity, Poisson ratio from varying from 0.3 to 0.5. बट जब बुक्स में हम थियोरेटिकली पढ़ते हैं या करते हैं, न्यूमेरिकल सॉल्व करते हैं, तब हम नॉन लीनियर रेंज में नहीं जाते हैं. सो इट इज नेवर गोइंग टू बी 0.5. प्लास्टिक रेंज में डिजाइन थियोरेटिकली बुक्स में नहीं गिवन है, मतलब आपके सिलेबस में नहीं है अभी. If it varies from university to university, if it is there, अगर प्लास्टिक रेंज में स्टील का डिजाइन होगा, that is it is going to go on. You can see here this curve is going to go on from here. So it is a kind of, you can say, As it is being given here, this is a plastic range. So into the plastic range, the Poisson ratio is going to be taken as 0.5. Unit mass of steel, it is always going to remain constant and same. Most of the time it is going to be used 7850 kg per meter cube. प्लेन कंक्रीट का कितना होता है यूनिट वेट? What is the unit weight of plain concrete? So these are the other properties, coefficient of thermal expansion, which are relatively less important. Students, I am finishing this lecture here. Any doubts, please raise your doubts.